Hello, dear friend, and welcome to. It's my pleasure once again to welcome you to another episode of your favorite discussion, Philosophy of Life program. For those who are not aware, Philosophy of Life is a discussion program that is designed to x-ray issues on philosophy, ethics, religion, esoteric, and other social aspects of issues that are of immense benefit to our society. Today, we shall continue our discourse on sex and destiny, part 3. Sex and destiny, part 3. Like I said last week, when one engages in illicit sex, he opens the psychic gates that enable some higher forces, cosmic forces, to come into one's karmic environment and begin to act in accordance with certain rules that will enable such powers to manipulate, hypnotize, and to an extent decide the future of the individual who is involved in illicit sex. Well, that is why it is important for man to realize himself. When you realize yourself in accordance with the Delphic Oracle Dictum, know thyself, it becomes important for you to know that real knowledge is self-knowledge. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, it states, and I quote, "A man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust, which veils man's real knowledge and bewilders him." What does it mean? And when you identify yourself in line with higher realities of life, you will not be constrained by certain natural propensities that are within your unit of existence. The above, cited portion of Bhagavad Gita is also supported by Cicero. Thus, I quote, "It is the soul itself which sees and hears, and not those parts which are, as it were, but windows to the soul." To Thales of Miletus, the philosopher, he, on the other hand, subscribed to the same view of Cicero, and on his own, he states, I quote, "The most difficult thing in life is to know thyself." The most difficult thing in life is to know thyself. End of quote. Plato subscribes to the view of Thales, and when he acts in a very philosophical manner, referring to the Delphic Oracle Dictum, "Know thyself," Plato asserts, and I quote, "And is self-knowledge such an easy thing? And was he to be lightly esteemed who inscribed the text on the temple at Delphi?" The answer is no. Such individual, or psychic being, or space being, whatever name you may have for it, should not be lightly esteemed, because such information is coming from a dimension that is not too native to the corporeal system of understanding, the bodily nature of man. Well, Clement of Alexandria is not left out in this same thought. He infers, and I quote, "If a man knows himself, he shall know God." End of quote. Why am I citing these quotations? I am citing them because they are very important in making man to understand that he is not this body. The body we put on is a camouflage. Man is beyond this unit, this camouflage unit that is expressed in our form, in our corporeal form. I give you an instance. In one of the fables of Aesop, the great philosopher too, he shared a very interesting story about the scorpion, being a very poor swimmer, said to the turtle, "Can you take me across the sea?" The turtle responded to the scorpion, "I am not going to do that because you will sting me and both of us will get drowned." The scorpion looked at the turtle and said, "What do you mean? What is the logic if I should sting you? We both of us will get drowned. That is obvious. I am not going to sting you. So please, take me up across the sea." Okay. The turtle said to scorpion, "Hop on." And they embarked on the voyage. Do you know, midway the journey, the scorpion now reacted and stung the turtle. The turtle continued, and both of them, as they were sinking down the ocean, the turtle asked the scorpion, "Could you mind if I should ask you a question?" The scorpion said, "Go ahead." He said, "You promised you are not going to sting me, and now you have stung me. Why did you do that? What is the logic in it?" Mr. Scorpion responded to the turtle, "It is not all about logic. It is in my nature to sting people. It is in my nature to sting." What does that mean? That simply shows that the nature of scorpion is to sting. But let me tell you, some of us, which is also normal, is a normal concept, is a normal system, anybody can believe that. It's the nature of man to respond to the material demands of the body, the corporeal demand. The body keeps making demand of sense gratification. And when you fail to gratify the sense by realizing yourself, your ideal self, I mean, you will excel in all your endeavors. And when we talk about sharing these destinies that are not really good, you save yourself by realizing yourself. How do you realize yourself? You must first of all know that you are this body, but you are not this body. Yes, man is not this material body. Man is beyond the material body. This realization will advance the course of your existence in line with realities of life. Let me at this point once again accentuate on a very serious note that at any point in time an individual is involved in illicit sex affair, it brings about the past, the present, and the future. Whoever you are getting involved with, a man or a woman, gratifying himself in illicit sex, whoever he or she may be, you are getting involved with the person's past, you are getting involved with the person's present, you are getting involved with the person's future. Now, how do they come together? At the point of orgasm, the energy is high. Let me say this. At the point of orgasm, at that point of sexual ecstasy, the peak of it, the present, the past, and the future merge at what we call the reincarnation, in accordance with the cosmic law of reincarnational homogeneity. And this enables the person who is involved to share, to interact You see, that interaction between your destiny and that person's destiny it follows certain rules, certain cosmic rules, which we call reincarnational homogeneity. The previous life experience, the present life experience, and the future life experience merge together. And at the point of coming together, a lot of experiences, a lot of things happen. It can lead to success, it can lead to death. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the good ones, you hardly find them. But the bad ones are so common to find. And so at the point of this interaction, there is an exchange of destiny. At the point of this interaction, there is exchange, or what we call an exchange of destiny at the ethereal level. This thing occurs at ethereal level. And the interaction takes place the moment there is the meeting point and the parting point. Now, there is also the possibility at the meeting and parting point of destiny to bring the past, the present, and the future. By that I mean, the past can be brought to the present can move to the future, and the future can now be brought to the past. These are levels of interaction that take place at the peak of sexual ecstasy. Now, when that happens, the individual may not even know. You may not even know how it happens, whether it has happened. But your experience thereafter will now begin to teach you. That's why you see there are people you come with, you meet in life, that the moment you meet them, you begin to excel. There are people you also meet. The moment you meet them, you begin to experience failures. Every human being is a carrier. So it depends on what you are carrying. Some carry good things along, some carry bad things along. Some carry evil, some carry good. Now, the person you are at the moment romancing with, having illicit sexual affairs, have you asked yourself who the person is? If you don't know who the person is, why not know thyself? According to the Delphic Oracle Dectum, why not know thyself? Knowing yourself will enable you reconnect to divine consciousness. When you reconnect to divine consciousness, you excel in all that you are meant. You excel in all aspects of your human life. So what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, hearing me, is that there is also an experience which brings about what we call the incubus and succubus. Now, the incubus are male counterparts. The incubus are male counterparts, while the succubus are female counterparts who come to assault an individual in the subjective experience. This subjective experience has been given different interpretations and different meanings, even in the psychoanalytic theory of Sigmund Freud. In one of his major works, in Dream Psychology, Psychoanalysis for Beginners. When you read the works of Sigmund Freud, you will understand his psychoanalytic theory, which puts in summary, is that if someone is having, for instance, having sex in the dream, is a fulfillment of an unfulfilled desire. That is to say that the person must have nurtured it in his mind for a very long time, and definitely he will begin to have those subjective experiences. But let me at this point dismiss that view, because the issue is this. That could also be possible part of human nature, because when a thought is intensified, the intensification of such thoughts can bring about subjective experience. That we should not rule that out. But let it also be emphasized, even at this point, that such subjective experience have led to the reasons why so many people have been assaulted. Some have been assaulted even in the subjective experience, and some have been impregnated in the subjective experience. So we begin to wonder, why am I talking in this manner? It is a common thing. You see, we live in the era of knowledge. There was a common saying that there is no art to describe a man's behavior on his face, and people say that. But today we have a science known as prosupremacy, which enables you to determine whether a man's character written all over his face. We also have the point I'm making is that prosupremacy is a science that enables you read someone's character on his face. So knowledge is dynamic. So what I'm trying to say is that some of these subjective experiences should not be dismissed as mere hallucination. It should not be dismissed as mere hallucination or hysterical delusions by psychotic individuals. That is what some people think, that they are just mere hallucination or hysterical delusion of people who are psychotic in nature. But it is not true. We have seen where certain things happen in the subjective world, and like we say, the esotomasis, which is also part of this subjective or out of the body experience, by which some people who even practice astral projection get raped in that dimension of existence. Sometimes they can be raped by some astral beings. And so by raping such individuals, certain things are deposited into their bodies. Let me also say that some higher beings, even when you read the Bible and you read so many sacred writings, you discover that some higher beings, some higher extraterrestrial intelligences come to the planet Earth in order to gratify themselves sexually. Like somewhere in the scriptures, it is written that when the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were good. What happened to them? They went in and had sexual affairs with them. What that led to the multiplication of the mongrel race, the colossal race, the age of giants. Why? Because the beings were advanced in their technology, advanced in every aspect of their lives. And so when that experience of either the incubus or the succubus happens, there is always sometimes the person who is having the experience is impregnated. And when the person gets impregnated, it can lead to what we call virgin birth. Now, let me explain, because I may be misquoted or misunderstood here. I am not saying that every virgin birth is a product of either incubus or succubus or cosmic sexual intercourse. That is not the point I am making. The point I'm making is that intelligent beings can come to the planet Earth, get themselves satisfied, and in the course of satisfying themselves, certain beings can be born in that manner, and they are called indigo beings. So when such advanced extraterrestrial intelligences come to the planet Earth to gratify themselves, sexual gratification, such can lead to somebody can get impregnated, and some of the beings, each time also they want to multiply, they can have sex with people, or they can psychically sow a seed. Such beings are called psychic seed, or when they are born, they are called indigo beings or psychic seed sown, or you can call them star beings. And they are exceptionally intelligent because they are coming from a far advanced civilization and culture that its nature and modus operandi are far beyond that of the Earth planet. Ladies and gentlemen, I will urge you to join me in the part 4 of Sex and Destiny, where so many other issues shall be extracted.